Hello, dear hearts. Welcome to Connecting to Consciousness, where the focus is to explore, to question, and examine our perspectives. I'm Nasira Waters. Before I get into it, I'm asking that you like, subscribe, and share so that YouTube's algorithm can find my videos. This is a journey of curious self discovery where I provide space for us to, again, explore, question, and examine our perspectives so that we can not only show up in service of our highest and greatest good, but so that we can show up wholly and fully, not just for ourselves, but also in service of humanity. And my goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers within the next 60 days, so that we can go on this journey together. I know that in this climate that we currently live in, it's important that we show up as our whole selves. And so I invite and I'm asking that you support this journey. And if you know of individuals who could benefit from this process of curious self discovery, please share. Again, like, subscribe, and share. And I thank you in advance. So let's get into it. Are you open to not being right? Or is your grip on being right so tight that you don't see how it can undermine and dishonor your relationships? Now, I've been told that bare minimum, as individuals, some of us at least want to be understood, and that's valid. However, there will be times where individuals are not in a space and place to understand your perspective. What then? My suggestion is to extend grace. Sometimes that is necessary to extend grace to others. Some people, when we focus on being right versus relationship, we exercise a lack of humility. And that's the topic today, humility. Many times it's viewed as weakness or a lack of self confidence. However, it's quite the contrary. It requires an inner strength and maturity that shows that there is an inner awareness, an awareness of self. It also requires that we are balanced and realistic with our self perception and a willingness to learn and grow. Now, by no means is this an easy process like all of life's journey, right? However, when we don't engage in exercising humility, we are exercising many other things that can be impactful in our lives. And I'll share some of those areas. One being our ego and self image. When we desire to maintain our ego and bolster our ego and maintain a positive self image, this can prevent us from exercising humility. Admitting our faults, our limitations, and our mistakes can seem to threaten our self-perception, as well as it can feel like a threat to our identity and or status. Also, fear of vulnerability. That's another area that challenges us with exercising humility. 3, cultural and social influences. 4, perceiving humility as weakness and undermining authority. 5, being in a competitive environment. 6, having a lack of self awareness. 7, previous experiences can also challenge us with exercising our exercising humility. Personal insecurities as well, and a lack of role models. These are all areas that can cause us to be challenged, that can create challenges in exercising humility. Now, when we don't exercise humility, it is quite impactful, and sometimes we recognize the impact and sometimes we don't. So I'll share some areas where it can be impactful. One, it can stunt our growth. We may struggle with accepting constructive criticism, which then prevents us from growing and maturing. Two, it can strain our relationships, and then we come across as arrogant or dismissive. Three, we can miss out on opportunities for connection and learning. Four, it can decrease our self awareness, distorting our views of our abilities and their impact, causing an overconfidence and unrealistic expectations. Five, we can engage in poor decision making, being overconfident, and having an unwillingness to consider other viewpoints. Six, resistance to change, being inflexible, being unwilling to acknowledge areas and beliefs that we have that are not the best or that are faulty. Seven, having limited resilience, taking our failures personally and refusing to adapt. These impacts can actually have domino effects in our lives. And so we want to be mindful that when we engage in a lack of humility, the effects can be extensive. Now, as we consider this, we should also consider that there are ways for us to engage in humility as a practice. In order to do that, we need to consider certain elements. One being acknowledging our limitations and our faults. It's okay. We're human. We have faults. We know that. And it's okay to acknowledge them. Two, being open to constructive criticism, wherever it may come from. Being open helps us to start to look at ourselves and how we're showing up in the world so that we are open to showing up differently. Three, valuing the contributions of others, knowing that everyone has something to contribute to this life, and quite possibly they have something to contribute to us. Four, avoid boasting. Five, admitting our faults, because again, we are human. And six, active listening versus waiting or thinking about what or how you want to respond or react rather to someone else's statements. Seven, practicing empathy. Of course, we desire that others are empathetic to us, and so we should extend empathy to others. Eight, a willingness to learn. Being open to learn, knowing that none of us knows everything, nor will we ever know everything. Nine, demonstrating respect to everyone. And 10, staying grounded. As we have success, it's important that we understand that despite how much success we have, we are still human and subject to error. As we go on this journey of exercising humility, as we know, not exercising humility has an impact. Exercising humility has profound impacts. One being in the area of being lifelong learners. Being a lifelong learner affords us the opportunity to have an open mindset, being more receptive to new ideas and feedback and learning opportunities. Two, excuse me, accepting constructive criticism opens us up to not only accepting it, but also seeking constructive criticism and not taking things personally allows us to adjust and make the necessary improvements to expand our growth. Three, it strengthens our relationships so that we can engage in empathy, respect, understanding, more active listening, right? And valuing the contributions of others and collaborating more effectively. Four, improving our self awareness. Recognizing and accepting our limitations and weakness helps us to understand our strengths and our areas of improvement and makes us more informed about the decisions that we need to make and more realistic about our self assessment. Five, it enhances our ability to problem solve so that we are willing to acknowledge when we need help and that we can be open to different perspectives. And seven, building our resilience so that when we experience challenges, again, we don't take them personally, we don't feel deflated, that we are more willing and able to bounce back and see our failures as learning experiences. And so, again, as we endeavor on this journey, it is a process like most of life, right? And so, as we go on this journey, I invite you, let's take this journey together. Until next time, live consciously.